They say that when you're about to die, your life will flash before your eyes. But what if it was something else? What if it was an ominous winged beast with glowing red eyes? On December 15th, just days after a mysterious winged creature had appeared over the Silver Bridge near Point Pleasant, West Virginia, local resident Eddie May testified to seeing this strange animal standing over the New River. I saw it, standing there on the bank just looking at me, and the light from the street lamp hit its eyes, and they were red, just like red-hot coals, he said. This was the first sighting, and although no one knew it at the time, it would not be the last. For the next few weeks, the residents of West Virginia reported seeing a strange man-like creature with wings. It was huge. All of them said anywhere between 6 and 7 feet tall, with large, dark wings that stretched out behind it, like those of a giant bat. B described it as having glowing red eyes, sharp claws, and a face that was both human and animal-like. Some said it had webbed feet, others that it was covered in dark hair. Most agreed that it walked on 2 legs. Now, normally these kinds of stories wouldn't come too much. Strange creatures lurking around small towns, a dime a dozen. But this story took a darker turn when on December, a local couple named Roger and Adina Martin claimed to have seen the creature standing by the railing of the Silver Bridge. The Silver Bridge was a major thoroughfare that spanned the New River and connected the town of Point Pleasant with the suburb of Gallipoli, Ohio. It was busy day and night, carrying some 30,000 vehicles across the river every day. So it was odd that someone would stand on the bridge late at night. By stranger still, that they should have been standing by the railing. According to Roger and Adona, the creature was staring at them and did not move as their car passed by. In fact, it didn't move at all for several minutes, and when it finally did, it was gone. There was no sign of it anywhere. They drove on toward home, but as they rounded a bend in the road, they saw the same beast standing directly in their path. Luckily, they managed to slam on their brakes and avoid hitting it. Not everyone would be so lucky. Less than a year later, on June 15th, 1967, at around 5 p.m., the Silver Bridge suddenly collapsed, plunging 46 motorists and a bus full of school children into the icy depths of the New River below. Of the 46 people involved in the accident, only 12 survived. The incident shocked the nation and raised a lot of questions. How could a bridge, especially such a new and modern bridge, suddenly collapse? Was it sabotage or an act of God? Had someone deliberately destroyed the bridge, or had an earthquake caused it to fall? These were the questions on everyone's mind when John Keel, an investigative journalist with the New York Journal American, came to Point Pleasant to do a story on the disaster. His reporting took him back to the mysterious winged creature that locals had been reporting since November of the previous year. Could the collapse have been avoided? Did the Mothman try to warn them? These were the questions that would form the basis of his book, The Mothman Prophecies, which has spawned everything from documentaries to video games to a major Hollywood movie starring Richard Gere. The initial response to his work was mixed. Many thought it ridiculous that anyone would believe in a paranormal beast that could prophesy the future. while others praised his work as investigative journalism at its finest. And it wasn't until much later that the truth of the Silver Bridge disaster was uncovered that people really started to take notice of the Mothman prophecy. See, even though the bridge's collapse killed 46 people, it didn't take long for investigators to uncover the cause of the accident. It was a simple manufacturing flaw, a metal fatigue that developed in one of the bridge's anchor chain. The chain had been manufactured incorrectly, and due to a combination of vibration and strain, it failed without warning. It wasn't the work of a madman, an earthquake, or an act of God, just a simple case of shoddy workmanship. But this makes it all the more interesting because it supports what many people now believe to be true, that the Mothman really did prophesy. The bridge's collapse. This is where things get a little weird because there are actually two main theories surrounding them all. One that says it was a real paranormal being, and the other that it was nothing more than a mass hallucination. Those who believe in the paranormal think that the Mothman is a kind of harbinger of death, a specter that appears whenever a major disaster is imminent, a kind of living embodiment of mankind's collective anxiety. If you'd buy into this, then the Mothman really did predict the Silver Bridge collapse. But why? Why would a supernatural entity bother to warn us? Here's where things get even stranger. According to those who believe in the paranormal, the Mothman isn't trying to warn us about the disaster itself, but something far worse, the end of the world. In Point Pleasant, residents spoke of a terrible disaster that would befall the Earth, an event so catastrophic that it would alter the world forever. But what exactly does that mean? Is the Mothman trying to tell us that we're all gonna die? Well, maybe. One thing's for sure. Though, if you want to avoid the apocalypse, don't go looking for the Mothman. Those who have tried claim that if you stare into its eyes, it will stare back. And if it does, you won't live to tell the tale. But what if the Mothman isn't a paranormal prophet at all? What if it was nothing more than a figment of the residents' imaginations? Supporters of this theory cite the fact that so many people saw the beast, even on separate occasions, that it was almost certainly a mass hallucination. But if that's the case, why did the hallucinations stop after the bridge collapsed? After all, people were still dying in the ensuing lawsuits and investigations. Surely someone else would have seen the beast, right? Well, not necessarily. Hallucinations aren't contagious, but mass hysteria most certainly is. When rumors started spreading through the town about a mysterious beast haunting the bridge, the residents became convinced that it was real. And once they believed it, they began to see it everywhere. Their fear got the better of them, and they began to imagine things. So, which is it? Was the Mothman a real creature, or a product of the imagination? There's really no way to know for sure. As for the creature itself, there's never been any solid evidence that it ever existed at all. Pitch, just a bunch of blurry photographs and grainy videos that could be explained away by focusing on camera lens flares and random light sources. As for eyewitness testimony, well, you know what they say about that. But I'll say this. If the Mothman is real, I don't think it's trying to warn us about the end of the world. It's warning us about the end of our own making. Climate change, pollution, war, famine, social injustice, and inequality. We're destroying the planet and ourselves with our own two hands. And perhaps that's why the Mothman showed itself to the people of Point Pleasant all those years ago. Not to warn them about the bridge, but to warn us all about the bridges we're burning on our own. What do you think? Does the Mothman really exist? Let me know your thoughts in the comment. And, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next one.